Howdy, peeps, and welcome to another episode of Talking Paranormal with the old man. And as usual, I am the old man. And hopefully, I just saw our daughter. She just signed in. Hey, Jess,
Hello.
how we doing?
Good. I'm in the basement today.
It's colder down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. The minute that my hair starts poofing out upstairs, I'm like, it's time to move downstairs.
Oh, definitely. I do have a question though, really fast. I did, excuse me, I bought a fan in here because I don't have the AC in here.
Yikes. Okay.
Can you hear the fan?
No.
Good. I mean, it's just one of these, it's one of these bladeless fans, and because there's times I'm sweating, you know what, off in here.
Well, yeah, you're in Sam's old room.
Oh yeah, and I haven't put the AC in yet or anything. So yeah. So anyways, we don't have anybody here yet, but we can still, continue obviously. So as you all know, it's been kind of a rough week for everybody.
Very
Uh,
rough week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have that dude from Cosby Show, Theo. I don't know his real name, Jamal something something. I don't know. I it's like you have on Facebook. It says raise your hand if you have not seen one Kardashian movie or show. Raise your hand if you have not seen one Cosby Show episode. Me.
Which is surprising because you usually that's kind of your area of watching shows is like the older shows. So I'm actually really surprised that you have never seen the Cosby Show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm more just as you are well aware, of the older shows when I was growing up.
Gotcha.
Obviously Good Times, Brady Bunch, hello, Partridge Family, things, Leave It to Beaver, the older shows. Um, and we also lost Hulk Hogan, which I mean, back in the day, not like some people I know, I didn't have, a championship belt, hanging around. Um, not naming names.
Of course not. Of course not.
um, but I mean, okay, I'm getting the feedback here.
I hear it.
How about that? No, see, but then I get the echo.
Hmm.
Okay, hold on. Let me let me turn the fan down just a little bit more. Um, is the echo gone now?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just one of those. I'll blame it on Xfinity because I have an excellent signal right now, but that could change. Yeah, so I was but, back in the day. I mean, in the '80s, it was Hulk Hogan. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers, kind of thing. So I mean, but as they get older, we are going to lose a lot of our. See, it went to poor. See, I hate Xfinity. I hate them with a passion. But anyways, um, and it's just we are going to lose people. But I think and I know it hit you harder too was Ozzy.
That hurt.
Yeah.
That one really hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, and I don't know about you, Jess, but I wasn't a big Black Sabbath fan.
No.
I mean, obviously, War of Pigs, Paranoid,
Iron
you
Man.
know, Iron Man, I mean, the obvious ones, but I was more into Ozzy when he was a solo artist.
Yeah, he You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, No More Tears,
Yep.
Mama, I'm Coming Home. I had a breakdown yesterday. I thought I was over it, but San Diego Comic Con's happening right now, and
Okay.
they had a panel yesterday for Peacemaker season 2 that's coming out in August, I think 21st.
Okay.
And the trailer they released for it, the new one, had an Ozzy song playing.
Oh man,
Uh,
which one?
the Road to Nowhere from
Oh
No
yeah,
More Tears.
the road to nowhere leads to yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and I started crying, just we're down here and I'm sobbing and, Dustin's like, "Oh, you're so sappy," and, the the trailer ends and I'm still crying and he's like, "Are you okay?"
No!
No, I'm not okay.
What was your first indication, man?
I did like I see a lot of posts that are like, Ozzy died and the first thing he did was kill Hulk Hogan.
I saw that, yeah, I saw that too. Well, it's like, I find it, really, I don't know if I would say in bad taste, but, I mean, it's, in a capitalist system, it's gonna happen. On Facebook specifically, you see all these now tribute to Ozzy T-shirts and the hats and the pop figureheads. It's like, let, let the dude, rest for a little bit, before you start putting this crap out.
Yeah, and
You
he
know?
did say like I know that we've been kind of like grieving
Yep.
Ozzy and he's like he wrote I think in his book like I don't want people to grieve me. I don't want people to cry. Like listen to my songs again.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
um honor and celebrate my life. Don't cry. And I'm like that's really hard to do when
Yep. Well, especially with a lot of us, and it's cliche, but his songs were like a record of our growing up.
yeah.
And I was fortunate enough, back in the day when I was young and wild, well, maybe young and stupid. I saw Ozzy twice, actually.
And where were you standing, Dad?
Well, the first one, I don't I it was either I saw him in 85 and 86 or 86 and 87. I know for sure that one was 86. It was at Long Beach Arena, and b- back in the day, before you could go online, see who was opening, and the set list and all this kind of stuff. Uh, you unless it was announced by the radio station, and I saw both of these out in California when I was in the Marines stationed out there, and unless the radio station told you who was opening, you didn't know who was opening. Until you got, or if it was on the actual ticket stub, you didn't know who was opening.
As
So,
someone who likes to be prepared, that sounds
yes.
like a nightmare to me.
Oh, dude, it killed me because I did. Well, especially this, the first time, Jess. Like I said, it was either I want to say 86. Um, and I didn't. I mean, I knew who Ozzy was. Obviously, I went there to see Ozzy. It was at Long Beach Arena, and I didn't know when the opening act came on, and I'm like, who the hell are these guys? I don't know who they even freaking were. It was Metallica.
Oh my god.
Master of Puppets tour. They had a backdrop, behind the stage of the record cover with the tombstones. I didn't know who they freaking were,
You
you
didn't
know?
know Metallica?
Not back then, dude. Yeah. So I saw Metallica opening up for Ozzy, and then I saw Ozzy, of course. And then the
What'd
other
you
one,
think of Metallica? Were you just
hon
like, "Oh, these guys are pretty cool."
honestly, I'm like, who are these guys originally? But yeah, I mean, I wasn't in back then. I mean, I am now, obviously, Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, the heavier stuff now too. But back then it was more, um, and again, I was out there in California, and as you're aware from me, talking about it over the years, they had a radio station, KNAC, 105.5 Pure Rock. And I know we're getting off the paranormal crap, but we don't have any listeners, so you know what? Give me a few more minutes.
And it's Ozzy, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's Ozzy. So if you don't like it, who cares? Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Um,
we're
and
reminiscing.
yes, we are. And I was more into because KNAC played a lot of the music that mainstream music or radio stations would not play. That they played the above forementioned Anthrax. They played, oh God, Pantera, a lot of Pantera, of course, Priest. They started playing Metallica when they came out, but they hadn't, they were not established yet. So, they were okay, I guess. And then the other time that I saw Ozzy, this was at the old Irvine Meadows Amphitheater. Think Pine Knob, but a little bit smaller. And this was, like I said, this was either 85 or 86. I don't remember. It was Ozzy, and the opening acts were Vixen and White Lion.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a cool show. And the reason why I remember this was because when he played Crazy Train, and Ozzy, let's get fucking crazy. I was again, think Pine Knob. I was the last row that was covered before the lawn seats. Okay.
Okay.
And why I still remember this, I don't know. But when Ozzy said, "Let's get fucking crazy," and Crazy Train started, nee, 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 nee. I looked back and some dude was probably drunk off his ass. He had fell over the railing from the lawn seats onto the aisleway directly behind me.
Oh my god.
So he's laying there. I'm like, is he dead? Is he alive? Because he, even if he was making a sound, you couldn't hear it over Ozzy. And all of a sudden, here comes all the in staff, security and the medics, and then they actually called the ambulance and everything. And that's how I remember Ozzy from Crazy Train from Irvine Meadows Amphitheater. And why I still remember that in my head, I have no idea. But yeah,
Well,
so
it's like, when we saw Sammy Hagar and that lady drunk off her ass too,
oh yeah,
fell
yes,
down the stairs of Pine
mhm,
Knob. It's like you remember stuff like that because 'cause you're like, "Dude, you're seeing Sammy Hagar." In your case, you're seeing Ozzy Osbourne,
yes,
and you're getting drunk off your ass. You're not gonna remember any of it. Like, I get concerts are fun. It's a party. It's you guys are all we're all getting together to experience and just, like, love the music that we're listening to. But in my opinion, it's like, I kinda wanna remember it, just a little
oh yeah,
bit.
well, especially as much as you paid.
Yeah.
And especially with her, at Pine Knob, I think last time that we were there, I think a beer was like $10.
Yeah, yeah, about 10, 15.
Yeah, so it's like you're spending all this money. Well, for starters, the actual tickets, which are not cheap anymore,
No.
and then you have all that beer. And if she was with somebody, it's like, oh, that was a great show last night. And she's like, I don't remember.
Yeah, like, imagine
Like
you're like
seriously.
imagine someone asks you like, "Oh, how was the Ozzy concert last night?" "Well, I don't know. I remember I was drinking, and then security was escorting me out."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, but then that's a badge of, oh man, dude, I was so blitzed, I don't remember nothing. You
And
know,
it was the '80s, so
yes, it was. And speaking of Pine Knob, and I guess we'll finish this here, and then we'll start talking about the investigation. It was we are actually going in a couple weeks. Well, actually, more like 3 weeks, I guess it is. We are going to see, and yes, in the title, Talking Paranormal with the Old Man, I am old. The wife is old, so we're into this classic rock stuff. We are going to go see Styx, Kevin Cronin band, formerly known as REO Speedwagon, and Don Felder from the Eagles, if he's still alive.
if his hip is still okay.
If his hip is still okay, because he did have some health issues. And I can pretty much guarantee you, Jess, that I will not be drinking because after the tickets and after probably a T-shirt, even though we saw last November we saw REO Speedwagon when they were called REO Speedwagon and the Lover Boy over at Van Andel. So I mean, as you know, so I bought a T-shirt there. So I'm looking for and I bought one from the Lover Boy too. I kind of got overtaken by the enthusiasm, and I got two T-shirts. I spent too much money.
I mean, they were an amazing opening band though. Like
Well, yeah,
usually people for openers, they're usually sitting down still.
yep.
People are still kind of filing in and no, everyone was on their feet. Everyone was singing. And then there was that asshole at the end who's like, Loverboy's better than REO Speedwagon.
Uh,
And you just heard like everyone go, oh. And everyone
again,
just turned to look at him.
well, see again though, Jess, dude, I was blitzed.
Yep.
Alcohol makes you do stupid shit.
Yeah.
I won't talk about my time in Okinawa. That's a different story. half of that stuff I don't remember because of the alcohol. Yeah, so I'm looking for a T-shirt that hopefully because this is tagged as the was it the Brotherhood of Rock tour?
Brotherhood of Rock.
Okay, so hopefully they have like the T-shirt where it has all three bands or all three people on one T-shirt. So I'm hoping that that's the case.
I'm hoping for a program because last November they
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have one and I
yeah,
was a little disappointed. But I like to experience like high infidelity completely is going
yes,
to be so much fun. Like my favorite songs that I never thought I'd hear live is like In Your Letter, Out of Season.
yep, yep,
Never thought I'd hear that live because I thought that it was because of Gary Ridgerath that
yes, yes,
because he passed, rest in peace, that we wouldn't be able to hear them, but Kevin Cronin, I guess, co-wrote, so he
yes,
can sing them. So
yeah, yep.
very, very excited to hear that. Very excited to hear. Oh, what is Styx doing? What
Uh,
album?
Grand Illusion
The Grand Illusion. That's
in its
right.
entirety.
And then Don Felder has some Eagle songs that
Yeah.
he can sing too, if he's okay, if
Yes.
his hip's okay.
He might be like Ozzy and sitting in a chair on stage for the whole
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah. They're playing both um, Kevin Cronin bands doing High Infidelity in its entirety in order with their hits obviously, and then Styx is doing Grand Illusion in order in its entirety plus other hits too. But see the whole thing too, Jess, is with High Infidelity. Kevin he sang all the songs.
Right.
See, and if we had listeners, I would ask them. But you know what? We're still having fun. Um, Bruce Hall and Kevin Cronin is having they're having a kindergarten spat, I guess.
The girls are fighting.
Yes, the girls are fighting. So much the fact that Kevin wasn't invited to the the last concert of Iris Speedwagon. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that was BS by itself. But Bruce Hall did sing on certain songs. Back on the Road Again is him,
Mhm.
is a Bruce Hall. And I think he sang one or two off of Good Trouble, which I mean, High Fidelity is obviously the record.
Iconic.
Yes, but Good Trouble, if you haven't heard Good Trouble, which was their follow-up to High Infidelity, Good Trouble is a good record.
I don't think I actually heard that.
Yeah, if you get a chance, play it. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I can play the whole thing from track one to the last track, and I'm not skipping any songs. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to give it a listen. Dustin's really excited about riding the storm out.
Yes, yes.
Ever since he heard it in November, he's like, I've just been it's been on repeat for me. He's like, I love it. I just like I jammed to it so much in the car.
Now, before that, did he know about riding the storm out, or was that his first time hearing it?
I believe he knew about it. I
Yeah.
think seeing it live though
Mhm.
changes it completely. Like it changes the just like the atmosphere of it and everything. And he thought that was really cool.
Cool,
So he's
cool.
pretty excited about that. Me being someone who likes predictability, I love that they're doing high infidelity from track one to
Yes.
the end.
Yep.
So it's like I know what's next.
All right, Jess. I think we've spent almost 20 minutes talking about music.
Yes, now onto the depot.
Yes. Okay. Like I said, we still don't have no listeners. It's kind of like bums me out. But you know what?
Honestly, I'm totally okay with it because I'm in the basement. I'm watching the little excellent go down to poor,
Oh yeah,
back to
me
excellent,
too.
back to poor. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
me
I,
too. Pour
I'm
now.
yeah, I was watching it because I like it turns red, of course, for poor.
Yes.
So
Oh, of
it's like,
course.
oh man.
Of course. You can't expect it to just be excellent and I'm sorry, pour in red. No, no. It has to
And
have
there
visual.
now we're back to poor. Now we're back to excellent. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, yeah, it's gone to pour for me about 3 or 4 times since we've been on.
Well, because upstairs the router's on my desk. So I
Oh,
never go down to poor because you
It's
know,
right there.
yeah, it's right there and I'm hooked right up to it. But I'm using an extender right now. So it's like
Oh,
my
nice.
my computer's like, I don't know what's going on.
So, as a side note, before we get into this investigation, has Dustin put in his dash cam yet?
He has not. He was gonna contact you and ask if you want to come over and help
Oh
him with
yeah.
that.
I still don't know. Now I'll mention that to him too. I don't know how they stay on because you have the option of doing the suction cup,
Right.
thing, but they said that, and by they, people that don't know, it's Rove, Rove is the dash cam. They don't recommend doing that because, especially up here in Michigan, with the temperature stuff, they said that that could cause this suction cup to come off, and when it comes off, it could fall.
Right.
So they have a anti-static piece. It's like an anti-static film, I guess, that goes on the windshield first, and then the actual dash cam mount sticks to that. And I don't know how in the hell that stays up because it's and maybe there are some things that we shouldn't ask, but the because the actual mount has 3M sticky tape. So
Right.
the mount is not even touching the windshield. And for the life of me, because and for you that don't know, the Rove has front and back cameras. So you have the anti-static in the back also, and it mounts the exact same way. How the hell does that stick? It's like it's not even touching this 3M tape is not even sticking or even touching the glass. It's touching that anti-static film. I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe there are some things that are best left unanswered.
It's magic.
It has to be just because it hasn't come off yet.
And then I figured, like, while you're over here, you can take a look at my car.
Oh yeah, Ulysses the Mini Cooper.
Ulysses, he's having a hard time right now. So
Yes. Well, he is a mini.
he's a mini. It doesn't get this hot in
But
his homeland,
oh no,
Britain.
but we had talked about yesterday in our text and stuff. But the windshield wipers work really well
The wipers work great.
because they're used to all that rain over there.
Oh yeah, that works fantastic. I've never had a problem with that. Everything else, yeah.
Nope. All right. Well, I see that we actually have a listener, Jess.
Oh, he's
Yeah, I'm not showing
it
whoever
didn't
he
pop
or
up.
she is, but I have two online and three total. So unless
Okay.
unless one of my paranormal friends here, Annabelle or somebody's online, welcome, and he or she is probably like, "What the fuck? This is supposed to be paranormal,
It's Ozzy.
and they're talking about music." Okay, so let's get into
The Durand
the
Depot.
as a Tony said, and I think that I told you just pre-COVID, Jeff, our friend, rest in peace, Jeff.
Rest in peace, Jeff.
Yeah, he had I lost track. Oh, he had told us Jeff was a friend of ours. He was a part of our group for people that are not aware. He passed away a couple years ago. He was the postal carrier, so he knew a lot of people. And Tony, who was a director, wanted to do or have us, involved maybe in making a pilot for a TV show. Until Tony found out that his equipment that he had, because he was a filmmaker director, didn't work in the dark.
And that's kind of important when you're making a paranormal
Yeah, we do our best.
pilot.
It's like ghost hunters do it in the dark. And we went over to the hotel over in Linden for an investigation over there. This is after Jack Furry, who owned it, passed away. I'm sorry. So no. This is actually after Jack had passed away, and his daughter Sharon allowed us in for investigation again. And we had been there many times. And Tony used to call it Durand. So ever since I met Tony, it is now Durand. So in a way, so yeah, we are. going to talk here about the Durand Union Station. It was it still is still in use by Amtrak, um, but other than that, they do like oh god, like weddings. They had a fundraiser a couple years ago, and it's basically consisting of the first floor. As you walk in the building to your left, used to be the cafeteria. It's now a gift shop. To your right, if you walk in, it's an open space now, and that is where the Amtrak comes in, and that's where the passengers get off the train and get on the train. And then back in the day, when this was an actual working train depot, when they had, back when they had passenger trains, not Amtrak, but passenger trains, the passengers could buy their tickets there. The ticket booth is still there. If you go upstairs, and then on the end there is the restrooms. And then if you go up the stairs, and then as you up on the second floor, to your left is a big ballroom area. It used to be offices, but now they have, like I said, uh, weddings. I think like receptions in there, whatever. To your right, if you go all the way down the hallway, is the attic area, which is off limits to the general public. And then on both sides is offices. So we have been there many times. We've done fundraisers with them. We've done overnight investigations with them. The I don't want to get political and start pissing people off, but as we used to say back in the day, they did us dirty,
No,
really
that's I don't think
bad.
that's political at all. That's like a fact.
Well, dude, and okay, and what they did, Jess is aware of what happened. I
Very aware.
talk about all the time. It still pisses me off. A couple years ago, actually, you know what, Jess, this is a good lead in to our investigation
Yeah, for sure.
because basically, yeah, because what happened in the investigation is what precipitated, and that's a big word for me this early. Precipitated what happened. So a brief history of the train depot. It was built in 1902. It was partially burned down in 1903. No, I'm sorry, 1905. It was partially burned down. It was rebuilt quickly. And if you ever get the chance to go into the attic, you can still see up in the rafters, you can see evidence of the actual fire that did not burn that part of the actual train depot, but you can see evidence of this. So let me go into this really fast, and then we'll squeeze into the investigation. We had done an investigation, and this is the one that we are going to talk about here shortly. And it was one of the TV shows. I don't remember which one it was. Um, Paranormal Caught on Video or Paranormal Evidence, or no, actually, I think it was Paranormal Fact or Fiction. I think
Yep, that was it. That was
was
it.
okay. And and the evidence that we're about ready to talk about here shortly is is what I presented to this show, Paranormal Fact or Fiction. And if you're not familiar with the show, what it is people would send in video clips, whatever, and then their team would recreate it on site, wherever it happened, and then they would come to they would try to, and I don't like the word debunk. That's Zach Bagan's BS word. I don't like that. Everyone else is grabbing on to debunk. No. And then the TV show would try to prove if it was really true or if it was a fake. So they had agreed to fly me and the wife out to LA. They would, pick us up in the airport, not in a limo, probably like a Honda Civic or something, and then take us to a hotel for the weekend. One day of a taping, and then I think a day or two later they fly us home again. So everything was all set. We agreed. Everything else. and then they wanted to come out to the train depot, and the actual word, the actual technical name of the depot is Union Station. So if I say Union Station or Train Depot, it's the exact same thing. So anyways, we had gotten this all approved, and that they wanted to come out to the train depot to film a recreation. Okay, that's all they wanted to do was have a cameraman, and we would be there too, and we would film the recreation. The depot wouldn't sign the freaking contract. Why? Because they were worried that during the recreation, the cameraman would break a bulb on a Christmas tree because they wanted to come out around Christmas time. Oh my God.
At least come up with a better excuse.
Yeah, dude, seriously. And the production company even told them it's in the contract that if we do any damage, we will replace it for you. But they can't allow someone to okay, they can't allow someone to go into the train depot with the lights out because they might break a freaking ornament, but they can have paying customers, and here's where the dig comes in. They you you can have paying customers come in that all the money that we raised, and yeah, I'm talking about one of our fundraisers. All the money that we raised goes directly to the train depot. We don't take anything. If we do fundraisers, we don't want anything. It all goes to wherever. They can allow that. They can allow people, regular civilians, to be tramping around the train depot at night with no lights, no flashlights. And if someone falls and breaks a bone, that's okay because they paid. But they couldn't sign a contract over a freaking Christmas ornament.
My thing on that is like, I wonder if they were worried because my first thought is like, what if they were worried about like people not wanting to go anymore because the place is haunted? But I'm like, they've had fundraisers with you guys.
Yes.
So that doesn't make sense. None of that makes sense to me. I think the broken ornament was just them not wanting to, for whatever reason, I wish they just would have been honest and said, hey, so like we have this, but if it does make it to that show, we're not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like instead of like kind of leading you guys on and then saying no.
But the whole thing too, Jess, is they didn't even have the freaking balls to tell us to our face or even an email. Me and your mom sat out on the second floor of the train depot. The and I'm using air quotes, board of directors were in their meeting room debating whether or not to allow this to happen. Okay. And well, one of our friends, I won't name her because she still lives in the area over there. Her then husband was on the actual board of directors at the train depot. So we sat out there in the hallway. It was a closed door, meeting for over an hour, Jess, and they would not come out and tell us. We found out after we had left. This our friend of ours emailed us and said they would not allow it. After all the money that they took from the fundraisers,
Oh
that
yeah.
one weekend alone, we raised over $1,500 that went to them. And so I swore and I promised myself that I would not ever go back there again. I like the train depot. I like the history. I don't like the people that run it. So flash forward to a couple years, actually a couple years ago. I think it was right after COVID, I believe, or actually maybe it was before. Either way, we were contacted by the train depot. They wanted to do one more fundraiser. Well, against my better judgment, I'm like, yes, your mom talked me into it. I'm like, okay, okay, I don't like the people running it, but we were assured that new people were running it and new people had better better trying to think of a word, better understanding, I guess, of the paranormal, and they were more open to it. Okay, okay, cool. So we made a verbal agreement with them to be there. They were doing some kind of like like wine tasting at the depot or some BS like that. And they were in the upstairs ballroom area. They had, and they're no, I'm sorry. They were on the first floor, and they had all this stuff. The music blaring, and people were drinking. Who you gonna call? Go, you know, Metallica. They're all drunk, and we were gonna come in after them, and we had made it perfectly clear that in order for it to be, people were paying, I think, $20 to attend this investigation. We were going to break up into three groups, and one of each of our team members were going to take a group and spend like a half hour to 45 minutes. So we were looking, we couldn't start until I want to say 10:30. No, we could be there at 10:30 to start setting up. We could be there at the actual investigation would be at 11 o'clock p.m., and we had it until 1. So that gave everyone about 45 minutes to go to each spot in the building, you know, three areas, the first floor, the upstairs, and uh, the baggage area outside. So when we show up, oh, we're sorry. It's been a long day. We have to be out of here by 12:30. Okay, that's not what we agreed to. So, yeah, I don't like the train depot, and probably will not go back there with the current people there.
Which, like, that it let's say you guys did make it to Paranormal Fact or Faked.
Mhm.
Like, imagine how much, like, publicity that would have gotten the Durand Union Station, and how many people would, like, show interest
Oh yeah, yeah,
in it. And that's what doesn't make sense to me is, like, you're gonna, like, why wouldn't you capitalize on this? But, they might break an ornament, so
yes. Well, and the whole thing, Jess, is we had the fundraisers before this, right?
yeah.
And they were welcome. Oh yeah, we wanted to be known as paranormal. So after this whole fiasco with this TV show thing, because the train depot is owned by the city, okay? The mayor, and when I'm saying city, that's stretching it. It's
Yeah, it's like town.
Yeah, it's not big. Well, the actual mayor of Durand said that we do not want to be known as a paranormal spot. That we do not want to be recognized, and we are not haunted. We have no spirits here. We are not haunted. So that's one of the reasons why it was, because they didn't want to be known as a haunted place. But as you know, Jess, that attracts people.
Especially in the Burr months, September,
Yeah.
October.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everyone loves spooky stuff. I'm already
They
trying
do.
to ask Dustin, can I start shopping for Halloween stuff? He's like, please, can we get past my birthday first? Like, I people love spooky,
Yeah.
especially October. You guys
Yeah.
get so many, like, library presentation requests from you, like,
Yep.
from different places, because people love hearing ghost stories.
Yeah.
And that's I think it's so ignorant to say, like, we don't have spirits, we don't have that. So you're saying that in your whole town that there is not one someone hasn't heard anything go bump in the night before?
Oh no, no. We have done an investigation in town, at a private residence in town, and she actually crashed our investigation too. That's a different story here. Yes, but it's just my whole issue, Jess, is that they had all this fundraising that they had with us, specifically us. There was one other group in there, but specifically us. We had done three fundraising events there, raised a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it was okay when people are paying, but otherwise, no, we don't want to be known as being haunted, a haunted train depot. But whatever, it's still, as you can probably tell,
A
it's
sore subject.
yes, yes. Um, so anyways, let's get into the investigation that we advertised. I mean, I can do probably. I'm going to do one of maybe this upcoming week here. Do part two, um, because we've had experiences there. And were you there just before we get into this? Were you at one of the Railroad Comic Cons that we had done when I had saw the apparition in the hallway?
I don't think I was at that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about it
Okay.
after.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so I can talk about that in in a future podcast. Plus the baggage area area that we had odd things happen there. So I guess so. Let's set up the investigation. And it was you and your mom in the upstairs ballroom.
Yes.
We had like two or three tables up there. And we have a lot of equipment. I mean, we have four static cameras hooked up to a DVR, hooked up to a TV, so we record everything. And we have, all the usual equipment. We have the EMF meters, and we have the two-way radios, and we have the thermal imaging camera. We now have the SLS camera, which is basically jury rigging a old Xbox 360 Connect into paranormal. So we have a lot of equipment. We have now LB, which is a bear that is specifically made for investigations, and so we have a lot of stuff. So we had set up our cameras outside. Oh, and we have like motion sensors, that go off if it senses movement and stuff like that. So we had, and correct me, Jess, if I am wrong. I know that we had a camera outside by the ticket booth facing the train tracks.
Yep.
And we had like three other ones. I think we had one. Oh yeah, I think we had one in the actual baggage area. Maybe one on the first floor, like on the old. Oh no, no, I'm sorry. It was in the first floor facing the old snack bar, and then we had one by the ticket booth facing that open room.
Yes.
And you and your mom was upstairs in the third floor or second. I'm sorry, second floor ballroom, and you guys were watching the live feed from all four cameras, and you guys had walkie talkies.
Yep. And we'd basically just like if we saw an orb like on camera three, we would just kind of walkie you guys say we saw an orb on camera three.
Yep. And then we would go and investigate. So without further ado, I will leave the talking to you. And if you could talk us through what happened, what you experienced, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry, Jeff. Rehashing old memories.
bringing up traumatizing events in my life.
Exactly, exactly.
So, actually, I don't know if you want to start first because you guys saw an apparition.
Hmm. But Jess, it wasn't us. It was you guys had seen it on the TV screen,
That's right. That's
and
right.
your mom had radioed to us, and that's the reason why if people aren't aware, that's why we have two-way radios, is because especially when we're in a huge spot, okay, like the train depot, it's a huge area to cover. Instead of saying, "Hey, dude, what's up?" we just use two-way radios.
Or like
So
screaming down the hallway, we
what's going
saw
on in the hallway,
something!
and then like, "What? I can't hear you. Hold on." So your mom called on the two-way radio and said, "Is there anybody out in front of the train depot over by the railroad tracks?" And I know personally, we had well, two teams. We had I was leading the team, and I think it was Holly or Tammy was, or maybe even Charles was leading the team. And you two were upstairs, and I remember I go, "No, we're downstairs in the actual baggage area," and then Holly goes, "No, we're downstairs. All of us are inside in the ticket area." Then that's when your mom said, "Well, we just saw a woman go through a gate," and I still remember. I'm like, so she went through a gate. She opened it, and your mom goes, "No, no, no, you don't understand. She walked through a closed gate."
Yeah, that was something that like it's weird seeing like I guess this many years later I can still see it. Like she glided. She
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
walking. She wasn't it was gliding through the fence. And of course, mom was like, I need to go check it out. So she left me. And I just want to like start off by saying this trip was incentivized. We got pizza beforehand.
Yep, yep, yep.
And my understanding of this was I'm just going to be seated at this table watching monitors.
Which,
So,
which, technically, you were.
yeah, and I was like, this is the easiest job in the world. Like,
Exactly.
because I told you before that I missed homecoming.
Yes, you did.
I think
Yep.
it was senior year to go to this, and my friend Alyssa was keeping me updated on the game. And when mom left, like it was all dark, and I'm just like, a baby could do this. Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, whatever. Like I can like I watched like camera 4, like all you guys go toward like the gate, and you're looking around and stuff, and I'm like, all right. Um, and my phone goes off. I got a text. And I was like, all right, you know, I can look away for a second. Nothing's gonna happen. So I looked down at my phone to see what my friend Alyssa had told me. And I see a solid black like blob come into the ballroom past me, like from left to right. And it was at the corner of my eye, obviously. I wasn't like looking up at it. And I had this moment of like, okay, that was kind of weird. Um, but I'm sure it was just like, my imagination. And then the motion sensor goes off. A bright light
Yes, it is. It is.
comes on, and that's when I felt like my stomach drop. Because when you're out of it, here's the thing. People don't really, unless you're in it, people don't understand. When you're watching this on TV, you're like, I wouldn't be scared. It they heard something go like bang in the next room, and it's like, come on, guys. No,
Yep.
no, no. When you're in it, when you're in the dark and you're by yourself and you hear or you see something, your body goes into fight or flight. It freaks out. It's like, wait, 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 wait. There's no logical explanation for this. So I remember getting on the radio and I'm like, you guys got to come back up here. And they're like, oh, you guys were like, did you guys see something? I'm like, just come up here. Just come up here. I don't want to be alone. So you guys come up, and I remember mom was like, well, what happened? And I just start crying. Because I'm like, I didn't sign up for this shit. I I signed up for Joe's Pizza, some one of those, what were they called? Like elephant ear bites.
Yes.
Or I signed up for that. I signed up to come here and watch some monitors and text with my friend. Like, I didn't sign up to be scared like this. And I was like crying, and mom's like, well, maybe it was a shadow. I'm like, why don't you believe me? She's like, it's not that I don't believe you. I'm just trying to find like a logical explanation for what you saw. Like maybe a car passed by and you saw like the shadow of it. I'm like, no, mom, it was a black blob. It was a solid black blob. And yeah, I remember like I'm like, you guys are not leaving me alone. Someone's staying up here with me. I'm not dealing with this again. I don't know if it was because I was being a jerk and I was like, oh, like a baby could do this. It's like whatever. I'm just gonna be on my phone. No, no. It was terrifying. It was scary, and it keeps me up at night. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
Still very scary though.
yeah, yeah, it is, and I think that we should set up the the scene, I guess, too. So basically, as you walked into the second floor ballroom, okay, as you come into the hallway, the room obviously opens up into a big area. So the table that Jesse's referring to was as soon as you walked into the room, we had two tables, if I remember correctly, and they're both like right there. So as soon as you
Yep.
walked in and turned to the right, there was two tables end to end. And if I remember the one, Jess, and correct me if I'm wrong, the table at the end, or the second table, because the first table had the TV monitor, the DVR. Our second table had cases of our equipment. And I want to say that either we had, and I think at the end of the second table was the actual motion sensor that went off.
Yes.
And then so then also imagine too is the room is pitch dark.
There is no light coming in. It
No,
is like
pitch
it
dark.
was in the middle of the night, right? Because this was a
Yeah,
24 hour.
yeah. This was a overnight investigation, and oh, I don't know what time. I do know if I set the timer or the time on the DVR system that we use. And then the one thing too is just really fast is if you're not already aware, I made a fake. We have our group has its own Facebook page, but I was having problems trying to figure out because I my hosting is done by Podbean, and they do a fabulous job at hosting. I'm not complaining at all. But the problem is try to like add content to your podcast is almost impossible. They actually sent me a link to like a FAQ page. I'm very tech savvy, I would want to think. I couldn't figure this out. It was like stereo instructions, man. It's like, oh my God, what am so Jesse actually had the idea. She goes, why don't you make a Facebook page strictly podcast? That's what I did. So anything that you hear here, not only will it be available on all of your favorite podcasting places, like I know Apple Podcast has it, I know Podbean has it, iHeartRadio is there also. I'm shared or I'm yeah, I guess shared, I guess, on five or six different podcast platforms. So anything it'll still be there, obviously. But then if you want to go to our Facebook page, and I made it easy, talking paranormal with the old man. That is the podcast and also the Facebook page. This will any of our podcasts will be posted there within half hour afterwards, and anything that we talk about will be included also. So I will post a video of the apparition from the train depot on there. Like I said, by half hour after the podcast ends. So yeah, so that that being said, so the evidence will be on there afterwards. So yeah, so did we ever find out, Jess, who or because after the sensor went off
Yes.
and was it you said that if I remember, you turned or you saw the mass, the black shadow creature, or and I don't want to say creature. Let's say the black. Okay, let's do that. Capper site. He calls them black shadow bastards. So he goes, "Oh, it's a black shadow bastard." So in his British accent, of course. So when you saw the black shadow bastard, was it before the sensor went off or was it after? I don't recall.
That's what was so scary. It was before.
Before, okay.
Like I saw it at the corner of my eye, like of course not walk, but glide
Yep,
in
yep.
front of the table. And when I was like, "Oh, what was that?" And like I looked up and that's when the motion sensor went off. About, if someone was walking, it would have been about that time where it would have crossed in front of it and the motion sensor went off. So
Wow.
that was what was so scary is like it wasn't just like a shadow of something. It wasn't a car passing by
Oh,
and
no,
I
no.
caught a shadow of like the monitor or something because it was like I said, it was solid black. It wasn't like I could see through it. Like with shadows and stuff. It wasn't like on the wall. It was right in front of the table, and I I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened after the motion sensor went off. But yeah, like I was just there for pizza. I was just and some elephant ear bites. I didn't expect anything to happen, but as we've talked about before, when I act like an asshole, that's when most of the paranormal stuff happens to me. So,
Well, see, and that's what I said, Jess, our last episode about Dan Rivera. And I go, you don't fuck with the paranormal.
no, no,
And
no, no, no,
and
no.
not that you did it, that you did intentionally, but when you told Alyssa, oh, a baby could do this, the spirit goes, oh, a baby can, huh?
Yeah, it was like
Let me introduce myself.
it was literally like, "Oh, you think so? Bet, let me show you. I'm gonna
Yep,
show you me, and we're
yep.
gonna see how you react." I'm so glad you guys didn't record me crying. That would have been embarrassing, and that
Or or did we?
you're gonna be like, "Surprise, it's on the Facebook page."
I'll have to ask Charles if he had a camera up there.
Can you imagine? Charles would be like, "I don't know, Brad, because
Let
I love Charles. Charles is
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah, he is, but, I mean, he goes, as I went through and I did find it."
Well, because he was the one that comforted me after. He was like, "Hey,
Oh,
it's okay. It's
oh,
alright."
really?
Like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, he Charles and I have been BFF since the beginning. He's awesome. When I was crying, he was the one that, like, came over and, like, patted my back and was like, "Hey, it's okay, we're here now, the lights are on."
Well,
Thank you,
and
Charles.
and I think, Jess, you had, mentioned that, a lot of people, unless you experience it, it's easy to sit at home and watch it on TV.
It's so easy to watch someone be afraid because,
Yes.
a candle or something fell off of the fireplace, and you're like, "Oh, come on." Like, come on, it made a little, like, bang sound. You didn't have to scream about it, or, like, you hear stories of people talking about their paranormal experiences, and you're like, "It wouldn't have been me."
No.
I would've, like, marched into that room and said, "Where are you, you bastard? You leave my family alone."
Yep.
Until it happens to you, you're like you get kind of like a cockiness about it because 'cause you're like, it's just for show, it's made up." Until it happens to you and you're like and your body can't like, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
I wish I could have said, "Oh, yeah, it was a car just went by. I just heard music or something, and a car went by, and I'm seeing a shadow of, like I said, the monitor or
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
The shadow was me. The light, your mind is trying to logically tell you what it could be, but there's no logical explanation. There is no, it was just this, it was that. It's unexplainable. And then the motion sensor goes off.
And then, if you're, listening to this, imagine Jesse up there. The room's pitch dark.
I'm a teenager.
She's a teenager. Very, she's influenced very easily.
Very easily influenced.
Good.
It's probably around 2 or 3 in the morning. Um, and I signed up for pizza, and
Yep.
I signed up to watch a monitor and maybe
And that was it.
text my friend, and that's
Yes.
it. That is what
Now,
I signed up for.
then we also have to, I guess, make mention too that unfortunately Papa Joe's Pizza has closed.
It has closed.
Yeah, they had some great pizza.
Oh, it was great.
They had the Texas Ranger Burger. They had good pizza. So yeah, they have closed. But then Jesse's in this room all by herself. She just sees this black shadow bastard, and the motion sensor that we had, or I guess still have, is like what Jesse said. So not only did she see this black shadow bastard coming towards her, then all of a sudden she's blinded by the light when the motion sensor went off, because the motion sensor had a bright light. So that added to like the effect of the whole experience.
And there's no explanation.
No.
There's for a motion sensor to go off, you can't say like, "Oh, it was a bug. There was a bug in there," or maybe it was a mouse or something. No, it immediately seeing that black blob
Yep.
crossing in front of me, and then 2 seconds later, the motion sensor goes off.
Well, and especially too, Jess, was the sensor was facing away from you guys.
Yeah, because we didn't wanna keep blinding ourselves whenever
Yeah.
we got up.
So it wasn't like the motion sensor was facing you and your mom, and you get when you one of you guys moving, set it off.
Do you think that well, I don't know, like, do you think that spirits, like, when they do set off that motion sensor, that they're like, "Oh, shit," or, like, do you think they even acknowledge it?
Well, if you follow just the conventional way of thinking
Mhm.
is there's from my again, and this is where I give we are not experts. um, we are not experts. Do not take what we say as gospel because
This is
we are
all opinions.
yes, this is all opinion. We are still living. Yeah, well, yeah, we're still living.
I was gonna say you had some hesitation there. I'm like, I almost felt like if we were in the same room, I'd feel like Spangler
Oh
when
my
he's
god.
in the library and he just randomly touches that lady because that sensor's going off,
Yep, and then yeah,
and then just walks away.
yep. We are still learning every investigation. So there are two, I guess, two ways of thinking. There is residual haunting, as we are all pretty much aware, where it's just basically a, if you will, like a tape being replayed over and over and over again. There's something that triggers it, and triggers however it does. I don't know. It triggers it and it replays. Something. Or there's a classic haunting or a intelligent haunting. They're both kind of the same thing, where the spirit will actually not recognize you, but it will acknowledge that you're in the room. It might smile at you. It might, whatever. So, I mean, in this case, Jess, it could be he or she, the spirit, was doing what it was doing when it was still alive.
Okay.
So it has no idea that you're even there, or no idea that he even, tripped anything. Or, oh, we have, yeah, yeah, go ahead and join in. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're enabled. Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but hey, this is all new, guys. Okay, we were live last week. Had a little bit of technical issues. Um, if you listen to the podcast on any podcast place, ignore the last 8 minutes of it because
Oh, I
I thought
loved
we were
that note.
offline.
I loved that note on it because I went to listen to it just to see if I sounded really cringy or not.
Yep.
And um, I loved your note. Please ignore the last 8
Yeah,
minutes.
because I thought we were done, and I had hit stop recording, and I'm like, okay, why can't I do nothing? Where is this even at? And then after me and Jess she's like, I think you're still alive, Dad. I'm like, no, dude, I hit the stop button, whatever.
You're like, "I hit end." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
but, like, when I refresh, it still says it
yeah,
still
and
says you're live."
yeah. So I'm like, what? So please ignore the last 8 minutes of last week's pod. Oh, and that is our yapper. Uh, uh, Brenda, the wife, Jesse's mom, just came home.
I was gonna say
Uh,
that's not a cryptid you're listening to, it's
No, that is
Yogi.
a Chihuahua, a 16-year-old Yapper Chihuahua. So it's possible, Jess, that he didn't even know that we were there. On the other hand, it's very possible that he could have been a intelligent one and he knew everything. It's like there's this meme on Facebook, and I do like a good meme every so often, and it was something to the effect that there was like paranormal investigators, and they're like, do something for us, do something, do something, whatever.
If you're
And
real, knock this basketball off the counter.
yeah, and then it does, and then they run like baby, then the investigators run like baby back bitches.
They get scared. I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
you asked." Or it's like
yeah,
we always use the example at like library presentations of like people who take like EVP and ask like, "Is if there's anyone here, please let me know." And they hear hi.
yeah,
And they're
and
like,
then
"Oh my god." It's like, "Well, did you expect them to ignore you and say whatever?" No, you asked them, "Hey,
yeah.
if you're here, say something." They're like, "Hey, what's up?" And you get scared. It's like you got to expect that. I wasn't expecting it. I just want to put that out there. I wasn't expecting it at all. So I didn't ask for this. But
But the whole thing, Jess, is we have learned over the years is when you least expect it, expect it.
well, also, haven't you said before that like spirits can kind of see like auras and they
Yeah,
kind of know like if you're open to it or if you're not.
Yeah.
or stuff like that?
Yeah, our friend who's in Florida, and again, unless I get approval, I don't like to mention names, except for Prozac because I forgot.
You forgot, tried to backtrack, and then just said, "Whatever, I already said
What
it."
the hell? It's out there now. I don't care. Our friend, she is still a medium, and she moved to Florida. Like I think it was like now 8 years ago that she's been in Florida, and she always told me that because she is a medium that the spirits can there is something in your aura that they can read, I guess, for a better term, I guess, that they can read your aura and they know if you can see them. So if you can see them, or if the spirits in your aura, how, like I said, how I don't know if there's a sign in your aura that says, I can see you. I don't know. But somehow they can see you, so they will try to communicate with you more because they know that you can see them, maybe communicate with them. But it's when you pull off anything that you see as, oh, it's just my imagination, or no, I didn't see that,
It's
whatever.
just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Yeah, they're going to stop trying to communicate with you because they're trying, but you're like, shutting them out. So yeah, in that case, Jess, up at the train depot, I don't know. I mean, it could have been either way. Either he or she did not know that you were there. They were just doing their normal, business, or he was or she was intentionally messing with you.
Which I'm kind of leaning more toward the latter because of my attitude toward
Yeah,
all of this.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what I think is interesting is like, and I think you've said before, it depends on like how much energy they can pull in. Of like,
yeah.
you guys saw a whole ass apparition,
Yes,
and I got a black blob.
yes.
And I think that's interesting with
But
like,
though, Jess, the apparition that we saw outside was also a black form.
that's right, it was.
Yeah, your mom said, and it loses translation between what you guys saw live on the TV monitor
And what
than
was
what
recorded.
we actually recorded. Because
Yep.
from what your mom said, remember she said, "Oh, it just walked, through the fence." I'm like, "Okay, so they opened it." No, she walked through the fence, and she
Mhm.
had like on a flowing, you could see like a flowing dress. Well, and like I said, after the podcast, I will post the pictures on our podcast page, Talking Paranormal with the Old Man. That video will be on there, so people can see it. And our friend whose husband was on the board of directors, who declined us to be on TV, which I'm still pissed. But anyway, she did research, and I don't know if ever told you this. She did research because she used to be a volunteer. I think she is still a volunteer there, but she did research, and she found out that that area where where you guys saw initially on the cameras, where that woman was walking at,
Mhm.
that was the original boarding platform when they got on trains.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's possible that what we or who we saw, I guess we're safe to say her, because you can see the flowing dress. Again, she's just a black shadow, but she might have been, again, so that would possibly be a residual haunting, and she might just be catching the train that isn't there.
Which I think that whole thing is interesting is like, have these people not like moved on? Or like, can you come and go as you please? Like, I
Yeah.
think that would be uh an interesting thing to kind of to know. I know that we're not going to for years and years and years, but
Well, hopefully.
hopefully. But yeah, the minute that like you pass on, Dad, I'm taking that Ouija board out. I'm gonna be like, tell me everything.
Oh, I will, Jess. Don't worry. I I have seen Elvis, and he's okay. But no, it's like, oh crap, where was I going with that? Damn it! I was going someplace, Jess. It'll come back to me. God. I was gonna say something. Oh, and I kind of, you know, not hate it, but I dislike it when people say that the house is haunted. It's like, how would you feel if you were a spirit and for some reason you're still stuck in your house and someone moves in, after you have passed, obviously, and somebody moves into your house and they go, "Oh, my house is haunted." Well, you're just a spirit that's stuck in your house, and you're not doing anything but living out your life when you were there, and they just happen to see shit move. I think that's kind of an insult to spirits everywhere.
Yeah, it's a little offensive. It's like, well,
Yeah, it is.
I was here first.
Exactly. Who the hell are you? Get the hell out of my house. Oh, exactly. When I post, just I'm gonna because you had talked about, in your mind when you saw that black shadow bastard, that you were like, in your mind, when was it, reflection from car lights outside? Was it reflection of something else?
Yeah, I was trying to logically look at
Yeah.
it.
The apparition that we have on video, and again, I'll do a short description when I post the actual video. Um, that camera was outside by the ticket window, and it was facing the street-ish kind of angle. And there wasn't. And I will post this too, because I do have a video of that too. Because my first thought was, okay, maybe like what you had said, maybe the shadow that we saw outside, because trains do still go past.
And there
Yeah.
are train spotters that
Oh, yes, there is.
go
Yes,
to,
yes. And but you have to be more afraid of the living than you do of the dead. Let me
which
just
that's
excuse me.
I always like keep that in mind because I'm like, they can't, it's not like the movies. They can't like throw you across the room.
No, no.
They would
That
need an incredible amount of energy, like let's say 1.21 gigawatts to do that.
and they're going to 88 miles per hour.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Yes, you will. That's guaranteed. And then Einstein may or may not be in there with you.
You
Poor guy.
disintegrated Einstein.
No, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Shh, Einie, he's back.
You little
Um,
devil.
um, and then at the end there, when the terrorists, find him, says,
The
Marty,
Libyans.
Marty, how are you finding me? The big white van that says what, Dr. Brown or something on it.
Yep.
How do you think they found you, Doc? But I will post this. Not this, but I will post. Because a train did come at about the same time, and it was traveling from let's see, the camera was facing northeast, so the train was coming from the south, and it went past the train depot. And some people had commented back in the day, back then, that maybe it was the shadow from the train.
Because this was like what, 13 years ago?
Oh, dude, I think it was a little longer than that, dude. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Because I want to
Um,
say it was my senior homecoming, so that would have
oh
been 2012.
yeah, yeah. So we're looking, yeah,
Jeez.
13 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But of course, people don't believe this, whatever. But your best times are in high school. Because when you get out, you gotta get a job, you gotta pay bills, you gotta find someplace to live, you can have
you
car
have to
payments, taxes.
you have to memorize your social security number.
Yes, you do, or haul the card out every time.
Yep.
So I did take a video of the train depot when the train was passing by, and you could not see the apparition where we had seen her originally. So that was proven to be not a shadow from the train. So Again, I hate that word debunked. I'm sorry if there's any Zach Bagans fans in here or Ghost Adventures fans in here. I was one. I'm not no more, and I hate that word debunked. But let's move on. Stay focused. Stay focused. So yeah. Basically, that was our experience. Like I said, I have shit 3 or 4 other stories from the train depot from our past investigations. Um, but we're already on an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want to go to 2 or 3 hours. And I can talk all day about that. So
We'll just have to
yeah,
make a part 2.
yeah, yeah, actually I'm thinking about doing that, Jess, the following this upcoming week here, just do a part two.
Yeah,
Because we have the apparition that I saw there. We had the experience in the baggage area. Our friend, who I almost mentioned her name, like I said, she was a medium, and oh, and I do have an EVP that Charles got from the train depot that I can put on after that one. So yeah, so I think this upcoming week on Sunday, I think it's going to be the train depot part two.
sounds good.
So I because I think that's yeah, I have a lot. Now I'm just going to ask you this now. Do you want to join again the following week, Jess?
Sure, that sounds fun.
All right, all right. Yeah, I don't want to, push it or oh god damn, he wants me to be here again.
No, this is a
So,
lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it.
okay, good. Okay, then advertising here for this upcoming week, a week from today at again 12 o'clock noon. Jesse will be here with me also, and maybe maybe we can get Charles or maybe somebody in these futures. I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can have 10 co-hosts and speakers.
That would be fun to get Charles on here.
Yeah, it would be. I'll we the group has a chat um on our mobile phones. And maybe I'll throw one out there. This upcoming weekend we're going to be the train station. If you're interested, let me know and you can be a speaker. And then I can say like, I can say, for example, okay, Charles, me and Jesse are going to talk about the stuff, whatever. Why don't you come on like at 12:45? I will invite you at 12:45. Then you can talk about some of your experiences there too.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it would be okay. So again, if you listen to the podcast from last week, please disregard the last 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
But see, as long as you learn from your past mistakes, this should not be 8 minutes after the end here of this silence.
Exactly. You know how to close it out now. So
Yeah, well, hopefully I do. Yeah.
the next note for this one's going to be please ignore the last 15
Yeah,
minutes.
I didn't work as planned. Damn it. All right. So, in I guess in conclusion, um, if you want to skip past the first like what half an hour,
40
we
minutes.
40 minutes. We were talking about Ozzy and music, unscheduled, but because of his passing, had to. And I know it's not paranormal stuff, whatever, but had to.
Hey, well, he's the
But
Prince of Darkness.
yes,
Like,
he is. Sharon. Well, there was a clip. I didn't watch them too often. Was it the reality show The Osbournes? I think it was
yeah,
called.
the Osbournes.
And it had an episode just where Sharon ran this. Okay, if you think Ozzy was in charge, think again.
No.
Sharon ran this, and Sharon Osbourne was Ozzy's wife, and, and they showed him doing the concert, and she had instead of having like when he came on stage, instead of having smoke, whatever, she had bubbles, like she
Oh,
had
I've seen this clip.
a bubble machine, and afterwards she goes, "Sharon, I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness, Sharon. I'm not doing bubbles." And then showed the following week he had bubbles.
He had bubbles.
He had bubbles. Rest in peace, Ozzy. So yeah, so the first 45 minutes was reminiscent about Ozzy. This last time here was about the actual train, the train investigation in Durand. So I guess we're going to be live again this upcoming Sunday, a week from today at 12 o'clock noon. It will be the Durand Union Station Part 2, because we do have some other experiences there that we can reminisce about. So again, thank you for listening. We did have a few listeners. Hopefully, if you like this, share it. Share it with people. We are just starting now. This actually last week was I just started. We've been okay. If you're a first time listener and that you don't know about us, per se, but the group that we run, Southeast Michigan Ghost Hunters Society, we've been doing it now. This year is 29 years, and that's a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been on TV, a haunting we've been on, a haunting on Hamilton Street, a DVD. We were on that. I have written 6 books about the paranormal. Hopefully, my new one's coming out. I'm hoping this year. COVID really screwed up the whole schedule. My publisher has it. It's Schiffer Books. Schiffer Books did my book 2 books ago, Ghost Hunting in Michigan. My last book was last year was Arcadia Press. They do the regional ones, haunted like here in Michigan, haunted Grand Rapids, haunted Flint, haunted Detroit, haunted the UP. Mine is called Haunted Michigan Graveyards. That came out last year. So hopefully I got one coming here, and I'm gonna start here pretty soon, writing about what happened over in the big city of Bath, when they had that school bombing back years ago. It's not going to be paranormal. It's going to be telling the story. I have read books about what happened. A person that lived a couple miles away from the guy that did all this stuff, and he actually wrote a book. So I know quite a bit about this. So that's in the pipeline somewhere. So again, I can ramble on forever, and I do ask the wife. Um, so we will pause here and sign off. And again, a week from today, 12 o'clock noon, Jesse will join us also again. Thank you, Jess.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Good, thank you. And I'll see if I can get some. Maybe even your mom will join us.
Yeah, just tell her don't listen to it after.
Yeah, or yeah, you just use use her phone and just call in from the living room, whatever. So yeah, so a week from today, the Durand Train Depot Part 2, some more tingling of the senses experiences of the paranormal. To quote one of my not my favorite lines, but it's appropriate. Until we meet again, stay away from the light. That's very important.
Very
So,
important.
yes, yes. And I'm not talking about headlights. If you know, you know. And yeah, so basically, guys, thank you all for joining us. If you like this, please share. We've been doing this podcast, and I started here and I got sidetracked a while ago. This is we started. I started this podcast in January. Was my first podcast. Last week's was number 20. This is 21, and it's just anything and anything paranormal and or music depending on the situation. um but again, it was Ozzy. So yeah, so until we meet again, stay away from the light, and until we meet again, bye bye.
Bye bye.